Royals on Masson at a summer night here at Camden Yards in Baltimore, and the Orioles and the Red Sox are going to wrap up this 3-game set as the Orioles continue their division play. For the Orioles tonight, it is a chance for a sweep. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. For the O's, they're after their first 3-game sweep since last September, and their first sweep against the Red Sox, you got to go back to September of 2012. They've got a chance to pull it off tonight and obviously gain some ground in an American League East where suddenly some teams, including the Orioles, are starting to play some better baseball. Let's take a look at what the Orioles have done against the Red Sox so far. These are pretty impressive numbers for the O's. They lead the season series 6-3, out-hitting the Red Sox 304-218, outscoring them 49-34. Home runs a 10-9 advantage for the Red Sox, but that's the only advantage. ERA significantly different. 5.5 to 2.87. Those numbers in the games, the 9 played between these two teams so far, Mike Bordick, that's pretty dominating baseball.
It sure is, and this is something that started in last year's season. 11-8 against the Boston Red Sox, and really dominating the division. And I think it's great that they've been able to ride that momentum and play consistent baseball against this Red Sox team this year. And it's been a number of contributors. I think when you get 4 or 5 guys in an offense that have good offensive numbers against a particular team, you're going to have the success. Well, Adam Jones is doing a great job offensively against the Red Sox. Davis, of course, Paredes was off to a good start against the Red Sox. Even Steve Pearce, the X Factor, I think, Ryan Flaherty, who in his career is hitting over 300 and continues to do it this season. So offensively, a lot of good things happening against this Red Sox team, but the pitching is always the key. And both the starters and the bullpen have been shut down. They're limiting the Red Sox offense, not only the overall batting average, but when they get runners in scoring position, they are just locking them down. So a lot of good things. This could be a huge series, a huge sweep potentially for this team as the Yankees come into town over the weekend.
All right, we'll see how they do. Can the Orioles get the 3-game sweep and continue their win streak? Coming up next, Red Sox Orioles from Camden Yards. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Indeed, it is a summer night. Take a look at our BG Home game time temperature. It is 88 degrees, humidity at 45%. And BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Here's the lineup for the Red Sox. Pedroia, Holt, and Ramirez. Ortiz is back in against the right-hander. Napoli and Sandoval, Bogarts, Betts. Swihart will do the catching. For Brock Holt, last 3 games, a .500 average.
And let's take a look at Chris Tillman's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball at 56%, breaking ball 34%, the change 10% of the time. It's been an up and down year for Tillman, making his 12th start tonight. Just 3 wins on the season. But I'll tell you what, the last win busted an 0-for-6 spell. So he looks like he's starting to turn it around a little bit, going 6 1/3 in his last outing. Earned run average starting to come down a bit. 44 punchouts, but 31 walks. 4 straight games with 3 walks. So he's got to get into that strike zone a little bit more consistently. Opponent's hitting .286 overall. Righties at .300. Lefties .274. The fly ball percentage up to 58. Ground ball percentage at 42%.
Numbers way up on Tillman in those batting averages. Last year, the left-handers hit .249. This year, .274. And right-handers have really done a number on him. Last year, they hit only .225. This year, it's .300 coming into this ball game. So we'll see whether or not he can lower some of those numbers. The other thing Chris has struggled with, an amazingly low 49% of leadoff batters retired. I mean, that's really bad. Last year, he was at 71%. So we'll see how it goes against the Red Sox, whether those numbers hold true or not. Here is Dustin Pedroia, .263 hitter off Tillman. Pitches in their first strike. We're underway. Orioles have won 3 in a row, looking for a 4-game win streak and to get back to within a game of 500. Red Sox have lost their last couple. They really struggle on the road. Way out in front of that one, down the line, Reimold, a long run. Nolan, foul territory.
Take a look at the Orioles defense headed by Adam Jones. Beautiful play off the wall, throwing a strike to J.J. Hardy to get Bogarts. And then look at Aaron Jones making a beautiful play, not once but twice, diving to Rob Betts. And yeah, show it to him, Adam. Reimold, Jones, and Young in this Gold Glove outfield. Hardy and Flaherty up the middle. Machado and Pierce on the corners, and Matt Wieters making a start behind the plate. There they are. They made some beautiful plays. Coach Jones making the throw to Hardy, and Snyder the throw to Flaherty to gun down a potential big inning. Beautiful defensive plays.
Didn't realize that it happened as recently. Last time the Orioles had that feat of a couple of outs by the outfielders on assists. It came see on July 18, 2009, 5th inning against the White Sox. Nick Markakis and Nolan Reimold had those assists in 1 inning. Pitches on the inside corner for a strike. Here's Holt, whom we were talking about. Happy birthday. He's 27 years old today, so we'll see how Brock Holt celebrates it on the field. He's got a 5-game hit streak, including a 3 for 7 in this series. And the right-hander will take the fastball there for a strike.
Yeah, one of the few Red Sox hitters that have had success against the Orioles this year. Putting up some big numbers and continues to do so. Very hot. 5 for 8 in this series.
2-2 delivery on the way. He'll lash that one foul. Tillman has had against the Red Sox only 1 outing this year. He won it at Boston. 4-1 ball game. He gave up a run on 6 hits, 5 1/3. And that's the win this year. He's got those tremendous numbers against Boston with an 8-3 career mark against the Red Sox. 2-ball, 2-strike delivery to Holt. He'll lash that one foul the other way.
A good fastball. Tillman looking like he's in pretty good control here in the early going. Every pitch a competitive pitch. Working hard on that outside corner.
Giving up only 4 first inning runs this season. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Outfield faded the other way, and that one's going to miss up high. Looked like Holt was ready to take a walk on ball 3.
Yeah, I thought he was going to flip the bat.
Thinking about his birthday. And a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Pitch on the way, and Holt will take that one down the line. Nolan Reimold going over into the corner, reaching. Oh, mercy! Join the crowd. If you play the outfield for the Orioles here in this series against Boston, you will be good.
You got that right. Nolan Reimold showing why he's such a special player. Look at this line to the baseball, and he's got all the gears. That's top speed going into the wall. A beautiful play. Great concentration. Closing in on the wall and robbing a sure extra base hit away from Holt. The Orioles defense continues to sparkle. Chris Tillman loving the leather being flashed.
I think maybe we ought to get a glove and go in the outfield just for one inning, and we could be stars.
That's right.
Because all you got to do is be out there. It's the Orioles outfield. And the pitch will be taken inside. Ramirez, speed delivery that time, just turned him around. So Ramirez, after hitting himself in the knee in game 1, had to come out. Came back last night as the DH. Now he's back in the lineup in left field. He's had a 1 for 5 in the series. He is 6th in home runs in the American League right now. And the pitch to him is there for a strike.
Yeah, and he's a reason why when we showed that graph inside the series and the Red Sox, the only category leading the way to home runs, he has 4 home runs against the Orioles this year. So he's been a major offensive contributor.
Home run leader still Nelson Cruz. He's got 18. Josh Donaldson, though, right behind him. He and Teixeira both have 17. Swing and a miss as he went up high with it. I saw Nelson has missed a couple of games with Seattle now, not on the DL, but not playing either. So for Seattle, the struggles just continue. Boy, what a disastrous start. They got shut out by Cleveland today, 6-0. They're in last place in their division. They were picked by many to win it. 1-2. Tillman to Ramirez, and it'll just miss outside. Laz Diaz, home plate umpire, historically has been pretty darn fair. You don't give much of a differential on the strike zone, pitcher or hitter. It is what it is via the rule book, and it doesn't vary much for Diaz. Chris Guccione, Jeff Nelson, Corey Blazer, the crew working this series. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that's hit hard. Manny Machado. Can he join the D? Yes, he can. Oh, mercy. I'm telling you, talk about defensive plays last 2 games. This is Machado at his best. That's the shortstop arm we talk about, right on the money in a 1-2-3 inning. Take a look at the old starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Machado, Reimold, and Jones, Wieters, Young, and Davis, Hardy, Pierce, Flaherty. For Manny Machado, last 4, a sparkling .412 average.
Take a look at Wade Miley's pitch arsenal this season. 59% fastballs, has a 4-seamer, good 2-seamer. Get a lot of ground balls when it's down. The breaking ball has a slider and a curve, and the change as well. 11 starts, 5-5 with a 4.67 earned run average. But Miley, well, he started his Red Sox career off very slow, but has certainly picked it up, pitching much better in his last 5 starts.
Manny Machado will take the pitch away. Miley works at an incredible pace. I mean, maybe as fast as anyone in the game right now. That one's going to be fouled back. And under the new rules, where, of course, hitters with nobody on are supposed to stay in the batter's box, you almost get quick pitch sometimes. So you'll see hitters step out, as Manny Machado just did there, when they have a chance. 1-2 delivery. That'll be taken inside. Miley, left-hander, lifetime against the Orioles 0-1, and that number comes from this year. His start against the Orioles came here. He gave up 7 runs, 5 hits, and 2 1/3 innings, and a base hit into right. So Manny Machado continues red hot 5-game hit streak now, 4 for his last 9 in the series.
And take a look at the Red Sox defense. Ramirez, Betts, and Holt in the Red Sox offense. Bogarts and Pedroia up the middle. Sandoval and Napoli once again on the corners. And Swihart, third straight game catching in this series.
That start by Miley against the Orioles, where he gave up the 7 runs, that ties a season high. He gave up a 7 to Washington in his start this year as well. Here is Nolan Reimold, 0 for 2. Whoa, got him. Oh man, something, he wasn't looking or was stutter stepping, but it was clear he wasn't ready for the throw. The Orioles are going to take a look at it. Buck Showalter telling the home plate umpire Las Diaz, I've got my guys looking as to whether or not that was an out at first base.
A pretty good move right there from Miley, and you know, he's had a great track record of shutting down the running game. Just 10 for 20 on stolen bases since 2013. So he knows what he's doing out there. He knows how to control the running game. And a pretty good first move. Typically early in a ball game, it'll just be a show me move, not the better move. Caught Manny a little off guard.
Buck's still waiting. He hasn't challenged yet, and he's not going to. So the out is recorded on a pickoff. That takes care of the leadoff batter. Just looked like Manny was kind of halfway between the move to the lead and was off balance.
He caught him perfectly in between. That step, he was taking the extra half step, and he caught him leaning the other way.
So 1 down. Nolan Reimold goes the other way. Long run for Holt over near the line. He'll get there in fair territory. Reimold is retired. And there are 2 down. Take a look at our Lowe's Never Stop Improving. And now it's brought to you by Lowe's, and it looks like this.
Wade Miley, first 4 starts of the season, 1 and 2 with an 8.62 earned run average. But his last 7 starts certainly back on top of his game. 4-3 record with a 3.33 earned run average and 2.90 strikeouts to walk ratio. So working the ball down in the zone, that's been the key. Month of April, he was elevating a lot of his fastballs, and he's settled in. Now you see the tempo that he works at. When he's pounding the bottom of the zone, he just gets the ball and fires. Gets the ground ball out. So a lot more quicker outs for him on the mound.
Adam Jones 0 for 4 against Miley, the only times he has faced him. Adam comes into the day 9th in average in the American League, as he's off to a real good start here in June for the Orioles. Their leaders in that department in the American League, Prince Fielder's still on top. Jason Kipnis, Nelson Cruz are 1, 2, 3. Miguel Cabrera just a point off the pace. And you've got 2 in this game in the top 10. Pedroia is 7th and Adam is 9th in batting average in the American League. 2 down and nobody on. Adam has had great numbers against left-handers, 6th highest average in the league. He pumps it to left, back at the wall, and goodbye, home run. Adam Jones delivering the long ball. His 10th of the year, his 32nd RBI.
Doing it all. That all-star game push once again. Gold glove defense, swinging the bat. It's the Orioles on the board first.
So the Orioles back to hitting homers here at Camden Yards. 4 straight games have been played here this season without a home run prior to tonight. That'll end that streak. Miley's delivery a strike.
We'll take a look at Adam's swing here. It's on the side, little change it looked like. And he waited on it. Look at him get behind this ball. Not out in front at all. Great patience there and a perfect swing.
1-0 lead for the Orioles on their second hit. Matt Wieters up. 1 for 2, a home run off Miley. Matt has hit in all 4 games he's been in, and he's gone on a called strike. So that will do it. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on base. For Adam Jones, he continues his assault on left-handers, coming in with a big 351 average. That is going to be his 3rd home run off a southpaw. on hold, just robs him of an extra base hit. That's the second out. And then Manny Machado down there third on Ramirez. I mean, Mike said, could easily be a 2-0 ball game, but for those defensive plays in the first. Let's take a look at our sheet inside the numbers.
Well, pretty special defense you're watching right now, but the season didn't start out that way. In April, it was a .986 outfield fielding percentage. That was 8th. The infield was struggling. JJ wasn't around. A lot of infielders being shuffled through. 12, 15 total errors. Since May, though, .988. And then the infield has been rock solid. Only 13 errors made. I'll tell you what, just 2 errors made in the last 18 games. This team is on top of its game, throwing the leather around, shutting down opposing offenses. I mean, it's been fun to watch.
David Ortiz is back in the lineup. Not happy about sitting out. You kind of want to see that you don't want it to go too much public. A lot being made of it as to whether or not David Ortiz's career is coming to an end in front of your eyes. I talked to John Farrell, the manager, about that before the ball game tonight. He said, why do you keep him in the 4-hole if he's struggling? John said, check the numbers, and he's right. He said, against right-handers, his numbers are almost exactly what they were last year. His OPS, his average power numbers, they haven't changed. It's the lefties that are just killing him. So I keep him in the 4-hole when he's playing against right-handers, John said, and here's the reason why.
Now there's the look. Last year, left-handed pitching, that .275, and then this year just .114 against the lefties. You're right, right-handed, very similar numbers.
So long as that happens, Ortiz is going to play, but not against left-handers. And then the question is, how is he going to respond to that if this becomes a platoon thing?
Yeah, which makes it even harder for manager John Farrell. I mean, you got to use an extra player in those type of situations. And David Ortiz isn't out in the field much anymore, if at all. So
here's the 3-2 delivery on the way by Tillman, and he gets it by him. Strike up in that zone. And there's the first strikeout for Tillman.
Tillman's shown some effectiveness with his fastball at the top of the zone here early in the ball game. Very tough to get to, but you got to work down to make this high fastball effective. And he gets Ortiz swinging through the up and away 93-mile-an-hour heater.
Like Napoli coming up. Napoli, the first baseman. Pretty good numbers against Tillman. 7 for 25 in his career. Chris gets the first 2 leadoff batters of the ball game. 1 down. Napoli will take that slider outside for a ball. On the road, the Red Sox really struggling right now. They've lost 5 consecutive road games, and 9 of the last 10 games they've played on the road they have lost. Breaking ball for a strike. They are 12 and 19. The Red Sox are on the road this season.
Well, they have to play better on the road if they want to compete, just like every team. If they want to make it to the postseason, you got to do well at home and on the road.
Fouled off the other way. One of the discouraging points is after all the money spent and changes made by Boston coming into this ball game tonight, they're exactly where they were last year. And last year they were 71 and 91, 25 games out when all was said and done. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and he reached for it. Chopper to the hole. Hardy over. Quick throw, and he's got it. Tomorrow, the Orioles going to host the Yankees as the games against the East continue. Game 1, 3-game weekend series. Tickets going fast, so do not miss out. And don't forget, for the entire series, we urge you to bring any non-perishable food item and or cash to benefit the Maryland Food Bank, part of the annual Orioles Reach Food and Funds Drive presented by One Main Financial. The fund donations, they'll be accepted at any One Main Financial branch as well. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Here's Pablo Sandoval. When you bring the food or cash donations, there will be folks there to receive them at every gate on entering the ballpark, and you never know who you might see there. A couple of players, coaches, broadcasters. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That one will be bounced off the plate. Sandoval, a 1 for 7 in the series.
Yeah, it's a great weekend. People bringing in their goods, and obviously feel good about that. And I think it's nice that the players and some of the coaches get up there. Obviously the wives. So to meet and interact with players in a giving way, I think is pretty special.
Yep. A little mustard on that one at 91. 1 ball, 2 strike count. 2 down, nobody on. Sandoval with a 1 for 6 in his career against Tillman, and he'll ground that towards the hole. Tillman's got a cover. Pierce the flip, got it there. 6 up and 6 down. Bottom of the second coming up. The Orioles have the 1-0 lead. Game brought to you by Miller Lite. Summer sunset for sure. And looks like it's going to be a pretty good weekend for those who might be heading to the ballpark or to the ocean. This will be summer weather.
Yeah, it is. Felt like summer today, middle of summer.
It was hot. Pretty night for the game. Very little breeze, blowing a little bit towards center. And no clouds. Miley ready to go. And the pitch taken up high. Delman Young, a 1-for-2 off Miley, and his only chances against him. Delman continuing to anchor right field, which is where he hits this one. Holt coming in, Pedroia going out. Holt's with plenty of time to get there. Young's retired, 1 down. Our Maryland lottery contestant of the game, Pamela Wedland from Odenton, has won $500 for being selected. $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play baseball buck scratch-offs went up to $50,000. Enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Chris Davis, designated hitter. He'll take it for a strike. Chris and Ryan Flaherty are the 2 left-handers in the lineup against the left-hander. Chris, of course, as we've said, has just really upped the numbers from last year against Southpaws. Coming into this ball game hitting .280, 79 points higher than he is against right-handers. 0-2 delivery will be up high.
Which is kind of funny. I mean, Chris Davis. Let's take a look at Wade Miley, though, this season after an 0-1 count, 194. So he needs to get ahead, because if he falls behind, see that average at 388. So like most pitchers, but that's a huge separation there.
That's one of the biggest you'll see. And they know that. Manager, pitching coach Carl Willis over there. That's going to be a base hit. No shift. How about that? The Red Sox in this series have not employed that shift against Chris Davis. Their scouting report saying Chris going more up the middle. That's a ball that would have been an out if the shift is.
Yeah, and typically the Red Sox a pretty big shifting team. That would have been typically right at Pedroia, who plays the shallow right field, off Chris Davis. And that pitch is a big reason why Davis is having so much success off lefties. The breaking ball, he's been hammering off left-handed pitchers.
So 1 down, Orioles get a runner on. Miley's delivery will be a strike to Hardy. JJ's got a 3-game hit streak. He's had a very solid series with that 3 for 6 number. He's 1 for 3 off Miley. Short lead at first. Pitch is going to miss down low for a ball.
JJ's been swinging the bat much better. Got the hit in last night's ball game. Couple RBI. Good to see his rhythm and timing back. And, I think for Hardy to, Miley's a good ambush candidate. He throws the 2-seamer away, but he likes to try to sneak that 4-seam fastball in. JJ might be waiting for that pitch.
Count will go to 1-2 on him. Fan tried to catch that barehanded. I was watching. That hurt.
Didn't come down with it?
It did not come down with it, no. And the pitch will be inside. So in memory of Rex Barney, we will not award him a contract. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Outfield, straight away. Davis a 1-step lead off first. That's going to go in the middle. Diving, Pedroia can't get it. So Hardy continues with his shots up the middle. That's what he's been doing. And the Orioles with 1 away have 2 on.
Yeah, you want to make yourself right as a hitter. Think to the big part of the field. Stay hard to the middle. Good things will happen. If you're a little out in front on a breaking ball, pull it to left for a knock. You're on time. Base hits up the middle, and that's just where Hardy has been going.
So the Orioles will get a chance. Orioles here in this series, they are 5 for 15 with runners in scoring position, and as a result, the Orioles have moved to the #1 spot in the American League with a .291 average in these situations. And a strike taken by Pierce. Pierce has had a hit in each of the last 3, including a 1 for 2 in this series. And Pierce with a chance for an RBI. Pedroia playing almost on second base, holding Davis. And Miley's pitch will be taken away. So Miley in a jam here in the second inning. He's not done well in these situations. His average with runners in scoring position for Miley is .286 against him, which is a good 30 points above even the average in the league.
A lot of the big innings, and I think the Orioles put that big number on him last time he started here at Camden Yards. Still trying to recover from that.
2 ball, 1 strike count. And that one's going to miss up high. So Miley will fall behind on Pierce. Flaherty waiting on deck. Pierce a couple of hits, 7 at bats against this left-hander, hitting .216 against lefties so far this year. Pedroia staying tight, holding Davis, lead runner. 3-1, swung on and missed. Pretty good movement on that one.
Got it down, took a little bit off. Pretty good pitch. And that's a big reason why Miley's kind of turned his season around. Working down in the zone. It's been a big factor for him.
3-2, only 1 away. Runners not going. That's going to be a base hit. Into the gap. Davis coming to third, will be waved home by Bobby Dickerson. Betts. He'll make the throw to the plate. 1 hopper. Not in time. RBI base hit for Pierce, and the Orioles have a 2-0 lead.
A nice piece of hitting by Steve Pierce, but a great job by third base coach Bobby Dickerson on the send. Chris Davis had to freeze on the line drive. Bogarts looked like he might come down with it. You see it work its way out to center field. Davis hesitating, taking a step back, but Betts, everything going towards left field. Dickerson recognizes that, and Davis in by a step and a half. Nice send, nice hustle by Chris Davis.
21 RBIs for Steve Pierce. And the Orioles 2 runs, 5 hits. Still runners at first and second base, and here's Ryan Flaherty. Ryan's had a 2 for 4 in the series. And as we mentioned, against the Red Sox, he has more success at the plate than against any other team. He is 8 for 15 this season against Boston. And in his career has a .303 batting average against the Red Sox. Bobby Dickerson asking Flaherty to step out, wants to go through the signs, and I have a feeling Bobby also wanted to slow Miley down.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's important to do. Even when you feel like you got him on the ropes, you got to break his rhythm a little bit, get him thinking about it.
Here's the 0-1 delivery. Flaherty off the fist and back. Take a look at our American Standard Who's Hot, Who's Not. Celebrate the season with the American Standard All-Star event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities.
Yeah, Ryan Flaherty is the Red Sox killer this season. 8 for 15, a homer, 3 RBIs, so he's red hot. Ortiz, not so much. Last 6 games, just 2 for 19 with 6 punch-outs.
Flaherty a chopper back to the mound. Miley wants 2. Uh-oh. Throw to first. Anybody touch second? Yes, they did. Safe at first. How do you make that mistake? You got 2 really good keystone operators, and Pedroia and Bogarts did not know who was going to cover second.
Yeah, lack of communication right there. And typically that would be Bogart's ball, but I got to believe Pedroia thinking that it might have been a chopper that got by Miley that Bogarts would have to vacate. So he kind of snuck in there behind second base, and then there was just a little bit of confusion. Nice play by Bogarts to really
they were lucky they got the bag and the out on that one. So it ends up being a fielder's choice, first and third now with 2 down. And here's Manny Machado, a base hit his first time up. We see all the time when runners on this runner at first base, you see the second baseman, shortstop go to one another before a pitch and make sure you know who's covering, right?
Yeah, well, there's definite plays that are on. In that situation, Ryan Flaherty, the lefty, up. So the off-fielder will be the cover guy. He will turn the double play with the pitcher. But in that situation, you got to have some court awareness. And Pedroia was sensing that the chopper to the left side of the field, if it gets by Miley, Bogarts is the only guy that's going to make that play. So he slides into second base, and Bogarts was a little late getting to second. And we saw Pedroia there, so some confusion around the bag. With pretty good concentration just to get that out there.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. First and third. Orioles with a run in here in the second. Pitch, Manny Machado will take that one away. Manny sitting at 216 with runners in scoring position so far on the year. That's a number you would expect it's going to be picked up by Machado. Although last year, limited at bats, he hit 206. He'll inside out that one into foul territory. Will there be room? Napoli over. There is, and that gets Machado. So the Orioles will get a run on 3 hits, no errors. 2 are left on base. Orioles extend the lead 2-0. Home.
Yeah, happy at home indeed. 17-12 record, and you know, a lot of the numbers here starting to trend up. This team, every aspect of the game is starting to come together, and they're in a good position here. Everything on the favorable side as far as American League ranking, the batting average starting to climb, and I think the fact that Wieters and Hardy are back really starting to solidify everything. Wieters back, it's going to help everybody in the rotation, and I think Hardy and Wieters' bat is definitely going to make the offense start to be more sound and consistent. So pretty nice numbers here in the home park. They'd like to carry it over on the road.
Yep. Here is Xander Bogaerts, and he will take the pitch for a strike. Bogaerts has a 6-game hit streak coming into this ball game. During the streak, he's 8 for 22. A couple of RBIs. Great pitch by Tillman. Got in on his hands. Bogart asking Las Diaz, home plate umpire, was that a strike? Did you find most umpires would answer that question for you?
Well, some of them did, some of them didn't.
Some don't. Some won't do it. I understand that. I mean, they don't want to define the strike zone.
I didn't even generally turn around, you know, and acknowledge that, because I felt like I knew the strike zone, and if I'm questioning it, then I'm doubting my own strike zone knowledge. If I thought it was a ball, I'd let them know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that guaranteed they wouldn't answer you.
You're right. But of course, back then it seemed like there were more characters for umpires. You know, Ken Kaiser would say something like, "Why don't you just worry about hitting the baseball? I'm not worried about what I'm doing back here." Stuff like that.
I love those guys. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Tillman with no walks, 1 strikeout, top of the 3rd inning. Advantage of the home run by Jones, RBI base hit by Pierce. That ball's laced to the gap. It's going to stay up. Reimold right there holds it in. Like Showalter was saying, we were talking before the game, we were talking about the defense last night and how good it was and the great plays. And he says, you know how that gets in the mind of an opposing team? He said, think about it. You've hit the ball hard, you put it where you thought you wanted to put it, and it's an out. And he's like, after a while, he says, you know, because you've had it happen to you, the other side's going, what do we got to do?
Oh, it deflates.
It's like, what do we got to do?
Absolutely. How do you think Betts felt last night after Jones robbed him? You know, here's an opportunity to get a couple big hits, potential RBIs, and Adam Jones is out there running them down. So obviously there's going to be an effect on the team, but even individually, you start losing your confidence. I have to do something different to get a base hit. These guys are everywhere, so you swing harder. Next thing you know, a week later, you're in like a little 0 for 20. You know.
Yeah. And that's exactly what Buck said. He said, you know what happens? You get robbed like that. He said, what's the next thing you try and do? You try and hit it out of the yard where it can't be fielded. And he said, that's great from our perspective.
Sure.
Then you're over swinging and you're trying to pull everything. 1-1 delivery on the inside out to right. Davis. Flaherty calls him off, or Pierce rather, and he'll put it away.
I'll take a look at Chris Tillman, career by catcher with Wieters. Pretty glowing numbers, 3.89 earned run average with a 245 opponent batting average. All others 4.41 with a 260 opponent batting average, and nothing against the other catchers. I think it's just a comfort for Chris Tillman. He worked with Matt Wieters through the minor leagues, and of course in the big leagues he trusts the fingers Wieters puts down. He's a good target for him, and you can tell obviously very comfortable throwing to Matt Wieters.
0-1 count. Swihart, a 1 for 6. Their young 23-year-old first-line catcher now. That'll be bounced. He was the #1 prospect according to Baseball America in the entire Boston organization prior to this year. In the minors, he had thrown out 44% of base stealers over the last 2 seasons. That's a very good number. Mentioned last night he's played on 2 championship ball clubs each of his last 2 years at Pawtucket and in Portland, Maine AA ball. And here he is catching. 1-1 delivery on the way, and he'll put that down the line. Reimold's done a lot of running. Gets over there and will make the catch, and the umpire says fair territory too. So 9 up and 9 down for Tillman, and the Orioles have a 2-0 lead. Young fan, never forget a baseball received. He's got one in his hand out there, and you know where it came from?
Nolan Raimo, beautiful play, chasing it down the line, and there's the fan. Hey, how about a baseball? He's kind of resting, watching the game as well. And,
oh my God, that's great. Nolan Raimo now is a fan for life.
Yes.
He'll never forget it. Pitch is taken outside for a ball. We show you those great picks coming back from commercials often during a ball game. And we got to give credit where it belongs, and that's to our great truck, our production crew downstairs. They do a tremendous job on these video highlights. They wrap a whole game up in about 30 seconds.
They're pretty amazing.
It's all there.
What goes on.
It's great stuff. 2-0 lead for the Orioles here in the bottom half of the third inning. Reimold flied out first time up, pitched in by Miley. Will be taking up high. I asked Buck Showalter, I said, look, you brought Reimold up, you played him for one game, you set him down, now he's back in. You're going to give him a shot at earning left field. Yes. Ball driven to center. Betts going back, has room, reaches up, and it is gone. Goodbye, home run. Nolan Reimold. I take my chance, and I deliver a home run for you.
A nice swing right there from Nolan Reimold. Straightaway center. Shows what his power is all about. Swinging the bat pretty well, obviously, in AAA, but didn't have the long balls. Norfolk, one of the tougher parks in all of baseball to hit home runs. He was driving balls, but here showing he can go deep.
Nolan Reimold, the Orioles 2 home runs in the game, and they now have a 3-0 lead. For Pamela Wedland, our Maryland lottery contestant, that's worth $500. Congratulations. And here is Adam Jones, who hit the other one. He got it in the first inning, and that's outside.
Take a look at Nolan's swing here. Gets the four-seam fastball center cut, about belt high, and he gets behind it. Beautiful swing. Nice effort by Betts out in center field, but he might get there.
First home run surrendered, given to Reimold's column on the year. That'll be fouled back. For Miley, only 4 home runs had been allowed in his first 11 starts, all hit by right-handers. And the Orioles have come up with 2 right-handed home runs here by Jones and Reimold. So Nolan, there are the 2 home run hitters right there. Nolan getting a shot in left field. Those are the kind of things you do that keep you in the game.
Well, some nice defensive plays already by Nolan, and swinging the bat.
That ball down the line, it's deep, and it will be foul, and a broken bat for Adam Jones.
Miley can sneak that four-seam fastball in on the right-handers, and we've got a piece of Adam Jones there. The bat goes down.
Orioles coming into the game 5th in home runs, while for the Red Sox, they were 11th in home runs surrendered this season. Both teams have given up a substantial number of home runs. The Orioles 12th in the league in home runs surrendered. 2 ball, 2 strike count on Jones. As Adam, that home run is first hit off Miley in 5 at bats. Down to third. That's fair. That'll be another hit. Ramirez will have to come in to play it. Jones will have an easy double. So 2 for 2 for Adam.
Adam Jones picking up his 10th double a season to go along with that home run in this ball game. Adam Jones heating up like he was in April. It's the big breaking ball, drops down into the zone. He just takes the bat head to it. Little kick up. Sandoval can't come down with it. Take a look at this graph here. Highest average on sliders. Now both balls Jones hitting this game, breaking balls. 339 batting average, 3rd highest. Kinsler leading the way with the 436, and Escobar 357. But there is Adam Jones, 339. Pedroia hits the slider pretty well too at 319.
So another chance for the Orioles to put one up. Keep in mind the Orioles are trying to sweep this 3-game set from Boston. They are already 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position, and the pitch will be taken by Matt Wieters. Wieters called out on strikes his first time up. Matt hitting in all of the games that he's been in so far. This is number 5 for Matt Wieters, and that's going to be chopped to Pedroia. Big hopper. Pedroia makes the play. Productive at bat, moves the runner over to third base. Next week, the Orioles take on their I-95 rivals, the Phillies, 2-game interleague series, Monday and Tuesday. Good seats still remain for each game here, including Tuesday, Ollie's Bargain Night. Presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. All upper reserves $10 when purchased in advance. For tickets, go to Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Infield in. Delmon Young flying out his first time up. Jones at third, 1 down. Pitch will miss inside for a ball. Already Stephen Wright up in the bullpen for the Red Sox, as Miley has given up the 3 runs on 7 hits. Big cut by Young. Pitch tailing away.
Well, he's had some struggles against the Orioles in his career in the 2 starts, so the Orioles offense giving him a hard time again. Early bullpen action.
1-1 delivery on the way. That'll be down low. Miley's thrown a couple of wild pitches this season. Adam Jones will take a short lead off third because with the infield in, Sandoval's only about 2 steps away from the bag. 2-1 delivery. Young is striking the inside corner. He didn't think so. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Young's hit .349 off lefties and .333 with runners in scoring position. Breaking ball to the hole. That's a base hit. Jones could wait till it went through. He'll score. RBI Young, and the Orioles have a 4-0 lead.
Well, sometimes managers are forced into these situations where they have to pull the infield in, but you're doing a hitter like Delmon Young a huge favor. More opportunities to pick up base hits just like that one, and that was a huge one with an RBI on the end.
Carl Willis will come out, the pitching coach, to have a word with Miley while the bullpen continues getting ready. Delmon's got his 15th RBI of the season for the Orioles. Les Diaz on his way out to the mound to get the game going again. So Miley is not having any luck at all or success here in this one. Comes off a win he had against Oakland, 2 runs, 6 hits in 7 1/3. But the Orioles batting him around again. So he gave up the 7 runs on 5 hits and 2 1/3 in that other start. Here is Chris Davis. He's had a base hit and a run scored. Davis goes after it off the end of the bat. Holt, runner halfway. Davis is retired, and Young goes back to first base.
Well, that ball was about half an inch away from ending up on Utah Street. Pretty good swing by Chris Davis, but just getting it off the end of the bat.
So 2 down. Young remains at first base. Orioles stay right in the East. Yankees coming in. In fact, the Yankees are probably in town right now having dinner. Ubaldo Jimenez, Michael Pineda will be the scheduled starters. Ball game tomorrow night, 6:30 O's Extra, 7 o'clock for the game. Saturday's a Fox game, 7:15, and Sunday back on Masson. Orioles have not decided on the starter for Sunday. Bud Norris faces CC Sabathia on Saturday. That ball fouled off down the line. So a 2-strike count. And there's Mike Wright, who's Buck Showalter said we got 3 options for Sunday. There's one of them. Right.
Yeah, well, Mike Wright did a nice job, real nice job in his opportunities to start for the Orioles in a recent call-up.
Got him on a call, strike 3. So Miley will get the strikeout. That's his first, but the Orioles have scored in all 3 innings. Nolan Raimo led it off, his first since rejoining the Orioles, and they did another on a Young single, 4-0. 32-28, starters 6-2 record, 2-5-0 in the last 13. Rays playing the Angels tonight. If they win it, they'll get back to a season best, 5 games over 500. For Toronto, they played 34 straight games without recording a save, and they have won 18 of those. That goes back to May 4th. And with the Yankees coming in, Joe Girardi has said he's likely, while not officially doing it, likely to promote Betances to be the closer while Andrew Miller is on the DL. The Yankees are next to the Orioles. And the pitch by Tillman is a strike to Pedroia.
Probably not the toughest decision right there, moving Betances into the closer role. And he believed that he probably would have been the closer anyway if they hadn't landed Miller.
0-1 delivery. Pedroia will take it. Pedroia flied out. Red Sox 9 up, 9 down through the first 3 innings. Orioles 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Red Sox zeros. Tillman with 1 strikeout, no walks. Pedroia will take that one outside. I asked Dustin tonight, I said, since you moved into the leadoff spot, do you think pitchers pitch you any differently? Do you see a different assortment, combination of pitches? And he said no. He said it really doesn't matter. He said, and they probably shouldn't. They go with their best stuff and they try and get me staying away from me, so they don't want to come in a third of the plate. That's where my power is. So he said it doesn't matter if I hit first, third, or ninth. I'm going to get pitched to the same way.
Yeah, well, you have a scouting report. You know what his strengths and his weaknesses are. You follow the plan. Doesn't matter where a hitter is in the lineup. He has his holes, and the Orioles try to expose that.
That's going to be a base hit. There's the first hit and first runner for the Red Sox. So Pedroia is on 3 for 9 in the series. Celebrate summer at Oriole Park, picking up the new Birdland Summer 6-pack. Any 6 games, your choice. Save up to 20% off the cost of single game tickets. You build the plan based on great rivalry games, promotions like bobblehead dates, t-shirt nights, fireworks. You choose. Go to Orioles.com/6-pack. Holt robbed of a hit on a great play made by Reimold in left field first time up. Infield will shade him to pull. He goes the other way with a foul ball.
I like Tillman's fastball right now. Velocity not as high as we've seen it in some recent starts, staying right around 91, 92 miles an hour, but he's locating very well, moving it in and out. He's worked to the top of the zone as well. And when he grabs the 2-seam, grip getting nice late movement, working away from Holt or into the righty.
Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way. That'll be inside. Staying away from those walks Mike was talking about earlier. He's 3rd high in the American League in walks surrendered at 31 walks. He has not walked anybody in this ball game. He's not had a game without a walk. He's had 1 game where he's issued only 1. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that's fouled off the mask and onto the screen. Kind of surprising, the struggles he's had at home. 5 starts at home, 0-4 ERA of 7.5. But you look at it, it's not a look. You face who you face. He's had Toronto twice, Seattle, Houston, and Tampa Bay in his home starts.
Yeah, well, it's the Toronto games that really set him back a little bit. He's been working to try to lower that earned run average. And Toronto put a beat down on him, and they have, of course, a very dangerous lineup. It continues to stay hot.
First game they got 7 runs. Toronto did 7 runs on 7 hits against him at Camden Yards. Then again at Camden Yards, 5 runs on 9 hits in the second outing he had against Toronto. 1 ball, 2 strike count here. Nobody out. Pedroia on at first base. Holt will take the pitch inside.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, Gary, lowest career earned run average versus the Red Sox. Look at this company. Chris Tillman, 2nd behind Gaylord Perry with a 2.63 earned run average. This is 17 career starts now. Cuellar, Wegman, and there's Jim Palmer, 2.90 against the Red Sox. So Chris Tillman in great company. He's put up super numbers.
That'll be a base hit into right field. Pedroia will make the turn and head to 3rd. Throw back into Hardy. So on a 2-2 count, Holt delivers a base hit, and the Red Sox have the corners covered in the 4th inning with nobody out.
Well, the top of this lineup, probably the hottest part of the Red Sox lineup, and Pedroia and Holt have been the spark plugs, but it's the rest that have really kind of brought the offense down. So Tillman has to do some work here, obviously, with Ramirez, a very dangerous hitter. But the top of the lineup, really what's kind of set the pace for this Red Sox team when they've played well.
So here's Hanley Ramirez. Red Sox are 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position in this series. They are 12th in the league at 224. Ramirez. Infield stays back, looking for a ground ball after a double play. Will surrender the run to get the 2 outs. Ramirez grounded out his first time up. 0 for 4 lifetime off Tillman. Not many chances. So here's a big moment in the ball game here in the top of the 4th inning. Chance for Boston to get back into it. Hadn't had a hit. First 2 guys here in the 4th each get a single. 1-0 delivery on the way. Ramirez, good stop by Wieters. 2-0.
We'll take a look. Average with runners in scoring position this season. When the Orioles pitching faces the Red Sox hitting, just 182. Tillman, his last 2 starts against the Red Sox, hasn't even given up a hit with runners in scoring position. Versus the rest of Major League Baseball, just up a little bit at 219. Red Sox hitting, there's the rest of MLB at 230. So Orioles pitching doing a nice job shutting down the Sox.
2-0 count. See if Tillman can keep that number. And he's not been close. 3-0 count. He's got Ortiz waiting on deck.
Maybe a little too careful right here to Ramirez.
Dangerous hitter, obviously. Hitting only .220 though, with runners in scoring position this season for the Red Sox. He will stand back in with a 3-0 count. See if he gets a green light here. Outside, didn't need it. So 4 straight away. There's the first walk, and it loads them up for one of those baseball moments. With Ortiz coming to the plate.
Well, David Ortiz went down swinging in his first at bat. Chris Tillman, a steady diet of fastballs. With the bases loaded, see if he does anything different.
11 grand slams in the career of David Ortiz. And as we showed you, his numbers against right-handers still very good.
Yeah, these are the moments that David Ortiz lives for. I mean, really what he's going to be known for is his clutch hitting. These type of situations, both in the postseason, obviously the regular season as well. This season, though, it's been a struggle. Runners in scoring position, just 111. So he's been waiting to break out.
Worst in the majors. They're loaded up. Orioles play for 2. Shift is on at double play depth as they move Hardy over on the other side of second base. And a foul back. Wow. Here's when he was jumping on right there.
Very healthy cut, but once again Tillman proving that that high fastball can be really effective. Now Tillman's like 6'6", so that downhill angle, that fastball riding to the top of the zone has a little extra life. Really hard to square it up. Any bat head dip at all, and you're going to miss it.
David Ortiz, sacks full, 0 for 4 this year in these situations. 0-1 delivery on the way, and Ortiz will foul that one back. So Tillman, after 4 in a row out of the strike zone to Ramirez, gets 2 strikes against Ortiz here in the 4th. Ortiz representing, of course, potential tying run. He walked away in disgust with himself after missing that last one. These are the moments fans live for. To see these kind of matchups. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Ortiz will pop it up. It'll go to left. Reimel shallow. Runner will tag Pedroia, but he's not going to go anywhere. Big out. Ortiz retired, first out of the inning.
Oh, huge, and really didn't change anything from his first at bat. Challenged him with all fastballs once again. Not overpowering, but in the right spot. First pitch, fastball, 91 at top of the zone. Next pitch, 92 top of the zone. Right back to the top of the zone at 92. And a weak fly ball, not even close to deep enough to score Pedroia. Great job. Nice job by Matt Wieters to go to that hole up there.
And Ortiz knows that's a situation where you got to get a run in. Sac fly or something. Now a double play can get Tillman out of the inning. Napoli grounded out his first time up. Pitch to him, and that one's going to go to center. Jones. Pedroia will tag. He'll come home. Throw comes into second base. And they're on the board. So Napoli will get the RBI on the sac fly. That'll make it a 4-1 game. Neither of the other runners, though, can move up.
A big breaking ball here that Napoli able to get a good piece of. No chance at throwing Pedroia out, but almost gets Holt on the back door. He was Deacon going to third, and Jones was just going to lob it into second base anyway.
So Tillman, hey, if you can get out of this inning with the bases loaded, nobody out, surrender only 1 run. That's a pretty good job.
Yeah, that's how you minimize the damage, and really that's been something that he has gotten so good at over the past couple years.
2 down, first and second. Sandoval goes. No. Check at third. Corey Blazer.
Take a look here. Sandoval getting the big body going, and looks like it does hold up.
Yeah, pretty good. Napoli picking up the RBIs, got 26 on the year. Sandoval waiting. The 1-0 delivery to him. That's slapped in the air towards the gap. Going back. Reimold racing. Not going to get it. It'll hit off the wall. It'll score Holt. Ramirez with that bad leg's going to try and score. Hardy's throw to the plate. Not in time. Ramirez limping with that bad knee, but he still was able to score because he was able to run with 2 away. And there is a big, big hit. Sandoval, a 2 RBI double, makes it a 1-run game.
Well, pretty tough to find some space in this Orioles outfield, but he splits Jones and Reimold almost perfectly. He's given good efforts, but kicks off the wall, and Neal is able to score all the way from first base.
Got to give Ramirez some credit for even playing. That knee is clearly hurting him.
Yeah.
But he got around and scored. Dave Wallace, the Oriole pitching coach, will make his way out to the mound now as it's a 4-3 ball game. That's how quickly the game changes. 9 up, 9 down through the first 3 for Tillman. And then here in this inning, the first 3 get on. 2 singles, a walk, sac fly Napoli, and now the double by Sandoval.
Deep breath. Take the time. Break this little bit of the rhythm that's happening in not a good way. So that's why Dave Wallace goes out there. I don't believe it's anything mechanical other than just to give Tillman a little blow, get to the back of the mound, reset, and get back to his game plan.
And one of their hottest hitters will come to the plate, Xander Bogaerts. He has been one of the best here in the month of June in the American League. 5th best average this month so far. 2 down. He will take the pitch inside for a ball. 4 runs, 8 hits the Orioles, 3 runs on 3 hits for the Red Sox. Bogaerts with a .406 average so far in June. Sandoval a big lead at second base. 1-0. Chopper. Tillman bare hands it, rights, and records the out. So that'll do it here in the 4th inning, but 3-run score on 3 hits, and it's a 1-run ball game.
red hot. The Orioles on the board first. It's a solo shot, 1-0. Steve Pearce starting to swing the bat well. He picks up the base hit to drive in Chris Davis, and the Orioles offense starting to build momentum. And Reinhold, he hits his first of the season since being called up. Straightaway center field, Orioles with a commanding lead, but Sandoval, he closes the gap with a gapper. Ramirez scores from first. Holt comes in. 4-3 ball game. Remember, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Steve Pearce has an RBI base hit, leads off bottom of the fourth inning. Miley will miss down low with it. It'll be Pearce, Flaherty, and Manny Machado. The Orioles try to win their fourth in a row. 6-3 on the season against Boston. 1-1 delivery. That will just miss. Miley coming inside to him. Miley's not walked anybody. He struck out 61 pitches thrown. But we're only in the bottom of the fourth inning. Pearce down to third. It's going to be a tough hop. Sandoval side saddles. Gets it there in time. Good pick made by Napoli for the out. Let's have some pizza. When the Orioles win, everyone wins. When the Orioles win and score 5 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders. PapaJohns.com by entering promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, valid at participating Baltimore area Papa John's. Certainly got a shot at it tonight.
Yeah, let's go. Got to eat, Gary.
Got to eat, baby. Here's Ryan Flaherty down to first base. Napoli 2 down. Looking for his first 1-2-3 inning is Miley. Orioles and the Indians are going to meet at Oriole Park. 3-game weekend series starts Friday, June 26th. On Sunday, June 28th, the first 20,000 fans 15 and over get an Orioles cap presented by DAP. Don't miss this annual fan favorite while you enjoy a summer afternoon at the Yard. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Manny Machado, a base hit, and he has popped out. 5-game hit streak now for Manny. 2 away. Miley's pitch to him will miss. Another tight ball game underway. 1-0 delivery, and that'll catch the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Machado trying to keep it alive for Reimold. That one in the air, left field, way back there, turning and watch. Goodbye, home run, Manny Machado. The Orioles now have a 2-run lead. Number 10.
Manny doing it all. Stealing bases this year, hitting bombs. Average on the climb. And a great defense as well.
So after 4 games at Camden Yards where neither team had hit a home run, the Orioles have put 3 out of the ballpark tonight. And for Pamela Wedland, our Maryland lottery contestant, another $500. And for the Orioles, a 5-3 lead. And the pitch is a strike taken.
Well, Miley, a couple breaking balls to slow him down. He thinks he can sneak the fastball by him, but Machado sitting on the pitch, staying on the backside. Deep drive to left center.
First 3-homer game off Miley. He'd given up 2 against Toronto. Reimold has one of them, getting it in the 3rd inning. Manny Machado, 2-out RBI and a couple of hits.
And he came off the bat hot too, 99 miles an hour. A great swing.
And a check swing, and home plate umpire said he went around. So Miley will get his second strikeout, but the Orioles are going to get a run on a hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Manny Machado with 2 away launches one. Orioles 5 and the Red Sox 3. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick. The Hall of Fame numbers for the Orioles. And they've got a 5-3 lead in this one. Manny Machado, 2 for 3 in the ball game, 5-game hit streak, home run number 10.
A nice little answer right there from the Orioles. After the big inning by the Red Sox, looked like it was going to be a pretty quick shutdown inning for Miley, but Manny Machado able to put another run on the board.
Manny's had 6 of his 10 home runs here at Camden Yards this year. Here's Mookie Betts, and he will take the pitch up high. 8, 9, and 1 in the order for the Red Sox, who sent 7 to the plate in the 4th inning. Betts popped out his first time up. 1 for 7 off Chris Tillman. Breaking ball that doesn't will stay up high. And a 2-0 count. Chris falls behind him. Oakland shut out Texas today 7-0. Scott Kazmir got the win 3-4. Gonzalez the loser 2-1. That one ripped. Line drive. Raimo back turning reaching up. It'll go off the top of the wall into second base, thinking about 3, deciding better not as Jones gets it in. So Betts will get a leadoff double here in the 5th inning on a rising line drive.
Yeah, Betts covered that one. He was thinking the only way to beat this team is hit it out of the yard. He turns Nola Reimold around. Pretty good effort there on the end, but kicks off the wall. You see that turn, glances back, and just a little too late to recover and get the glove on the ball. Betts in for a double.
Well, kind of ended up on the other side of Nolan after he got turned around.
Yeah.
Huh? Boy, was that stung. So potential tying runs at the plate. Here's Swihart, the rookie catcher, who flied out to left his first time up. Betts speedster at second base. Swihart will take the pitch inside for a ball. In the Cleveland 6-0 win against Seattle, Sean Markham won it. He's 3-1. J.A. Happ was the loser, 3-2. Giovanni Urshela, rookie, 2 for 4, home run, 2 RBIs, leading Cleveland. And that misses, so he's fallen behind now the last 3 or 4 hitters. 2-0 counts, 3-0 counts. He walked Ramirez on 4 straight in the 4th inning. 2-0 count. Betts off second. That's the other way foul.
Yeah, losing a little bit of the command with the fastball in the last couple innings. Get back into this count here.
Pitch count at 70. He's got to get through this inning. Miley hoping for a little more offensive support. 2-1 delivery on the way, and he got fooled on that one.
A good changeup. Tillman looked like he was trying to get that fastball, find the command. 3 straight fastballs, and then a beautiful change, pulling the string on 4th pitch, the bottom of the zone. Get Swihart swinging through it.
Nobody out. 2-2 delivery to him. That one the other way again, and it will go foul. Leadoff batter on each of the last 2 innings. So 2 out of 5. Boston getting the potential to get a run in, highly increased when you get that leadoff man on. See Betts at second base. The Orioles not trying to hold him close. So he's got a good secondary lead. And another one. That's 3 of them over there on the left side.
Well, they want to maximize their range, obviously in the middle of the infield. Betts certainly not wanting to make the first out at third base, and with the lefty up, Matt Wieters a pretty good shot at getting out of the box with a strong throw to third. So JJ sneaking in there, letting him know he's around, but I don't think that Betts is going to be stealing in this situation.
2-ball, 2-strike delivery, ground ball, foul again. Swihart, the catcher, lives in Texas now, but he actually grew up in New Mexico, and he became the highest drafted player out of New Mexico since Shane Andrews back in 1990. Grew up in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. 2-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way, and again he was fooled, but somehow keeps the at-bat alive, ticking it foul. 2-2.
We've seen all of his pitches. Pretty good breaking ball right there from Chris Tillman. Almost had enough finish on the end to get it by Swihart, but he gets a piece.
Swihart battling. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Betts off second base. 2-2 delivery on the way. Swihart reaching again, just fouls it back as again Tillman trying to get that off speed delivery by him.
Well, Swihart, this situation, probably stepping into the box thinking, okay, I want to try to get something to the right side of the field. Well, even count now at 2-2. He's just trying to battle. He wants to try to put the ball in play and make something happen. Staying short, backing some pitches up here, and giving Tillman a tough battle.
Safety swing worked.
Yeah, good change again. Fading away, and Swihart once again doing whatever it takes to try to keep the at-bat alive.
11th pitch of this at-bat will be coming up. Swihart trying to get that run in from second base. This is the 29th game he's played in. A home run, 8 RBIs. Switch hitter. Left-handed. Hitting 226, 167 the other way. 2-2 delivery on the way. And Tillman wins the battle. Second strikeout.
Changeup coming up big. That would have been a nice off-speed pitch for Chris Tillman. This one, nice spot at the bottom of the zone. 83 miles an hour. You see Swihart out in front, and then the frustration. And there is the change grip. Big paw covering that ball. Good arm speed. Sells it. And gets Swihart out in front for a big first out.
So that'll bring up Dustin Pedroia, top of the order. He'll take the pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Pedroia, month of June, hitting at .444 coming into this ball game. Tied for first in the American League, the best average in June. Betts out there at second base for the leadoff double. 5-3 Orioles lead. Tillman the long look. Pedroia takes, and it's up and away. Pedroia struggling here in these situations this year. Unusual, hitting only .220 with runners in scoring position this season. Boy, some really unusual numbers for a number of Orioles in that department. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pedroia, home run cut.
Yeah, I think most teams, when they go into a season or an off season, you know, you hang your hat on the track record of their stars. Pedroia obviously been with the Red Sox for so long, but you expect him to put up the same type of numbers he has in his career. Maybe not the MVP caliber numbers, but somewhere in the middle. This year, obviously, a little bit of a downtime right now for Pedroia, and especially with the runners in scoring position.
That's the leadoff second. Orioles are holding him a little closer now. Pedroia a chopper. Runner will go. Machado will play it on the hop. Barehanded and got him. With Pedroia's speed, Manny figuring I need to get this away in a hurry, so he bare hands it to get the out.
Not a bad play right there for Manny Machado. Like to see him use the glove, and he was probably thinking about it halfway, but he gets his body in a nice position, already set up to throw. His eyes are down there, sees the ball well, and he ends up making a bare hand play look pretty darn routine. Nice play by Machado to get Pedroia.
So over to third base goes Betts, but there are now 2 down. And that will bring Holt to the plate. One of the runs off Tillman, a 2-out RBI in the ball game, or 2 of them. Sandoval's 2 RBIs. And the pitch is taken for a strike. Holt a base hit, flied out. 6-game hit streak for him. He now has picked up 6 hits in 10 at bats, lifetime off Chris Tillman. And in a 5-3 ball game, another big moment with Betts 90 feet away. Here's the 0-1 by Tillman. That'll be outside.
Good try. Tillman going to the changeup much more here in this inning. A good command of it as well. Getting ahead there against Holt. Just missing with the 2-seam fastball.
9 hits in his last 19 at bats. 1-1 delivery to him. That'll be inside. And a 2-1 count. Holt has just had great success against the Orioles so far this year in the first 9 games, hitting .458. 1 for 5 so far in these situations for Boston. 2-1 delivery to him. Holt will go to short. Hardy's got it. He'll make the play over to first, and that will do it. So despite a leadoff double, Tillman able to shut him down with a runner left at third and protects a 2-run lead.
Farrell going over to Miley. He's about done, and Miley's like, "Are you kidding me? What is going on right now? How could you get him up trying to fight for this win?" And he shows Farrell he's a little upset. We're going to have a little team meeting about it down in the tunnel. Well,
and there they go.
Who won that one? Well, Miley out of the ball game. So 4 innings pitched, 9 hits given up. The Orioles offense once again able to get to Miley. 5 earned runs, just 69 pitches thrown, but it was a struggle for him to get through. Now it's time for a little relief. For your car too, visit Jiffy Lube for regular oil changes and help prevent damage and wear to your engine. Jiffy Lube, drive in today. Stephen Wright out of the Red Sox bullpen. Fastball 25%, breaking ball 75%, but it's a knuckleball that he flips in there, and he throws a lot of knuckleballs. 7 games this year, 3-2 record, 3.65 earned run average, and 19 strikeouts but 10 walks this season in his 37 innings pitched. Opponents hitting .234 overall, 219 by the righties, 247 by the lefties.
Adam Jones coming up. First inning, Adam Jones.
And he got into one. Back-legged. A home run, a solo shot. The Orioles on the board first.
So let's see what he does here against the knuckleballer. Adams already got a double, a homer, 2 runs scored, and the RBI. Stephen Wright is a veteran, 30 years old, acquired from the Indians. Jones will take it inside for a ball. Wright pitched with Boston last year in just 6 games. He spent most of it at AA, AAA. 1-0 delivery. Another one that's going to miss inside. And the Orioles see a left-hander and then a knuckleballer.
And there's the knuckleball glove. It's a little bit bigger.
2-0 delivery. Went up and got it, and just foul. And I mean up to get it. Show us what you got, Birdland. Adam Jones wants you to challenge him to anything. Just tweet your challenge using hashtag #IChallengeAJ. All week long, your chance to win. Visit masson.me/IChallengeAJ to learn more. Brought to you by Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield, who encourages each of us to take a step towards a more active lifestyle. Jones, Wieters, and Young. Bottom half of the inning, and that one inside to him, turned away.
When you face a knuckleballer, the only one true philosophy I think that hitters take or try to elevate the ball, because if it's down, it's going to be moving all over the place and typically drops out of the zone. You try to elevate the knuckleballer so you can see it a little better, give yourself a chance.
So he walks it. So the Orioles get a leadoff walk here in the 5th inning. We want to recognize the Altoona Curve for a great program they got coming up. They are going to have a promotion called the Night in the Neighborhood on July 5. They're going to be honoring Mr. Rogers from public television. You know who, the people in the neighborhood, that guy. To benefit the American rescue workers, people are encouraged to donate sweaters as well as other clothing at that ball game. I think that's just a great promotion. I love the jerseys that they are going to be giving away, looking like a sweater that Mr. Rogers would have worn
right?
on the show. That's a great idea. They're going to have the public radio station is going to be at the ballpark handing out 500 books to children who come to the game. Swing and a miss by Wieters, so go Curve. Great promotion. 0-2 count on Matt Wieters. He's been called out on strikes, and he is grounded out.
And a couple pretty good knuckleballs right there from Stephen Wright to Matt Wieters. That last one moving all over the place.
That walk to Jones is the first walk the Orioles have had in the ball game. And there's another one fouled off, I think. Yep. Swihart wasn't sure. He jumped up as though that ball hadn't been touched, and Adam didn't know, so he ran down to second, waiting for somebody to tell him if it's a foul ball or not.
See, that's why I think knuckleballers should be outlawed. I mean, really. And when I'm commissioner, I mean, that ball's moving all over the place. Catcher's having a hard time. Umpires, base runners.
You're going to be a pitcher's favorite commissioner. I can see that. 0-2 the count. Jones off first. Wieters takes, and he's gone. So first strikeout for Wright. First out of the inning.
Pretty impressive knuckleball he's featuring. Converted to a knuckleballer back in 2011. Look at that. Hardly any rotation at all. And it's dancing around. Weeder's hoping that one's going to dance out of the zone, but it holds true.
Delvin Young coming up, RBI base hit, and he has flied out. Jones not getting a big lead over there at first base, and a big cut. 73 miles an hour on that knuckler. Very hard to swing hard on a knuckleball pitcher.
Yeah, it is. And the good knuckleballers, you see in R.A. Dickey, they have the ability to change their velocities on the knuckleball. And Stephen Wright does too. There's a harder one that he throws up in the mid 70s, and then a slower one that moves a lot more in the low 60s.
So after just a 4-inning start for Miley, Wright being asked to come in now and take up some innings and hold this game at a 5-3 score. Miley back out on the bench. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Young goes after it. Got it center field. Going back is Betts. Warning track near, and he'll not catch it. Bounced off his glove. Jones was already at second. They're going to wave him home. Here's the relay throw to the plate. It's in time. Adam is out. Adam had gotten down to second base, but a good relay throw and an easy one to the plate was on the money. So it'll be a double for Young, and Jones is retired.
Betts giving chase. Now, he was out here the other day working on some fly balls. And here just clanks it. Gets the glove up. Might have blocked his vision. Adam Jones just reading the play. He gets down to second base, checks it out. And wait a second. He tries to turn it on here. Quick look back. And off he goes. But a pretty good throw on the relay. Able to get Adam by a good margin.
So, runner at second base. Good relay throw. Still a chance to score here, and the pitch will be taken up high. Chris Davis. Davis has singled, scored, and he has flied out. Interesting ball game. Both teams have had opportunities to get more runs, but defenses have denied it. And that knuckleball is going to miss down low. Orioles with 10 hits in the ball game now. 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position for the Orioles so far. And Davis, Pedroia makes the play and records the out, and that saves a run. So the defenses on both of these teams coming to the fore here in the final game of this series. He doesn't get that one. That'll be an easy chance for Young to trot home. 5-3 O's.
Called up, making a beautiful defensive play. Help Chris Tillman out. Orioles flashing the leather. Tillman loving that. Miley had only given up 4 home runs coming in, but the Orioles touch him for 3. Nolan Reimold hit one of them, a solo shot to straightaway center field. Nolan Reimold, the game changer.
5-3 ball game. Good one. Orioles after the sweep here in their 4th win in a row. Chris Tillman on the mound, a walk and 2 strikeouts. Ramirez, Ortiz, and Napoli do up. A walk and a run scored. He shows bunt and then stepped onto the batter's box. Takes it away for a ball. That one will be chopped. He can't run. It'll be a foul ball. Well, you hope Ramirez. I mean, I'm sure they've asked, and the doctors and everybody involved, but obviously playing on a bum knee that he fouled the ball off in game 1 and just limping around when he tries to run.
Yeah, you know, they do the treatment. They make sure that nothing bad can happen. Okay, so they try to get the swelling out of there, and there's nothing broken. So he's not going to do more damage. But the reality is, if you limp around too much like that, you're going to do something to something else. You have to compensate. Yeah. So they have to watch out for that.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Red Sox hoping he just hits one out of the yard, then walks around. Right. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way. Foul back. Ooh, look at that. Almost down to his knees on that swing that hurt so much. It's tough.
Yeah, he took a foul ball right off the inside of the knee. Had to leave the game, and then here at the end you see him grimace as he finishes that swing.
On that front knee, here's a 1-2 delivery on the way, and Ramirez will foul that one away. Ramirez, that's the long ball. He's their leader in home runs. Just trying to stay in the lineup with his Craig Biggio helmet. There is Brad Brock in the bullpen. Biggio would not let anybody clean his helmet through the course of the year. He had so much tar and dirt on the top of that thing.
Nasty, right?
And it looked like that. Because obviously Ramirez doesn't allow the clubbies to clean up his helmet. 1-2 delivery on the way. And again, stayed away, and he fouls it off.
Tillman's velocity, like usual, starting to pick up in the middle of the ball game. 94 there on top of the zone. 91 pitches, though, for Chris Tillman.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Probably Tillman's last inning, depending on how quickly it goes as far as number of pitchers are concerned. 1-2. Ramirez battling the leadoff batter. And he'll take it inside. So Tillman had worked him away, trying to get him leaning out a little bit. 2-2.
Pretty close right there. You know, Wieters setting up away. Ball leaks back in. Could have gone either way. I think if Wieters is setting up in there, might get the call. It's a reach across his body.
Here's the 2-2 delivery. Ramirez will take it. Did he go? No. Chris Guccione down at first.
Tillman trying to get him with the change. He's come up with some good ones here in the middle part of the ball game, but Ramirez recognizing it soon enough to hold up.
So Ramirez has worked it. 8 pitches. He's got it full. 3-2. And he's on. And he's looking into the dugout, I think, about whether does he stay in the game. He took a long look on ball 4 as to whether or not he was going to be in or somebody was going to run for him. It's tough for John Farrell. He doesn't want to take him out of a game, especially a close one, to lose that power back.
Exactly. Get a 2-run game. He's going to be coming back around again. Take a look here. Now work the at bat. Gets the walk and then kind of glancing over his shoulder. Are you going to pinch run for me here in this close game? Farrell saying we need one more bat out of you.
Yeah.
You know, there could be a great opportunity with runners on.
So he'll stay. Ortiz up. Ortiz has struck out, flied out, 1 for 6 in the series. Timeout taken, and Wieters is going to make his way out to the mound. So again, leadoff man is on. We said Chris only retiring 49% of leadoff batters this year. He got the first 3, but the next 3 have reached. So he's right there at that 49% number again in this game. Ortiz had a big chance. 4th inning, bases loaded, nobody out, flied out to shallow left. Got nobody in. Strikeout victim leading off the 2nd inning. He will take that pitch down low for a ball. Ortiz, 266 lifetime hitter against the Orioles. He's had 44 home runs against Oriole pitching. Ramirez off first. Shift on. Pitch taken. Ball 2.
A couple good changeups down at the bottom of the zone, but Big Papi, he's seen it. He's settling in there and recognizing the pitch early. Now Tillman falling behind. I don't wonder, maybe Ortiz was looking at the top of the zone. First 2 at bats, he was just rifling fastballs up at the letters and got him.
2-0 count. He'll look for one to hit here, and we'll foul it back. The 2-ball, 1-strike count. Tough ball game for everybody involved. There's been some outstanding defensive plays. Pitchers have had to really work. The Orioles had somebody on in every inning of the ball game. Tillman retired 9 in a row and then gave up 3 runs in the 4th inning on 3 hits. And that one's put high in the air and again not deep to left field. Reimold, runner halfway. Nolan's got it. 1 down. Take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Orioles, brought to you by Mile One Automotive, offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit the men's store or online at mileone.com.
Yankees coming into town tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, and then on Fox, 7:15 Saturday. It's a Sunday afternoon game against the Yankees, 1:30, and then it's the Phillies, Monday and Tuesday night games.
One away, Napoli. Tillman trying to survive these dangerous innings after putting a leadoff man on. Double by Betts in the 5th, did not score. Single by Pedroia in the 4th. They did score 3. Now leadoff walk. Mike Napoli will take it. Strike in the outside corner. So Tillman has thrown 11 first pitch strikes to 23 batters. 11 out of 23. Not great.
Could do better there, that's for sure. I mean, I think Chris Tillman, student of the game, understands the things that he needs to work on, obviously. And I think his battles here that he grinds through this season, been pretty tough. He hasn't been able to find a rhythm. Hasn't had one of those games where he says, yeah, that felt good, I'm going to build on that. There have been some bright spots, obviously, this season for Tillman, but it has been a grind for him every start.
1-1 delivery. Napoli will take it again. He thought it was away and or low. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
Big fastball here at the bottom of the zone, just peppering that spot, filling it up. The first 3 pitches.
Chris's 11 starts this year. The ball club has won 4 and lost 7. Orioles ahead here by 2. Runner off first, and the 1-2 delivery. Napoli takes that away and up. A 2-ball, 2-strike count, and this is surely going to be Tillman's last inning if he can get through it. At 102 pitches.
One pitch away here. Execute. I like the way it started working down in the zone with the first 3 pitches. He can stay down there.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way. Napoli the other way and foul. Into this summer dress crowd. And the count stays at 2-2 on Mike Napoli. Napoli's done a lot of damage against the Orioles over the years, but has only a .210 average against Oriole pitching. He's had 9 career home runs. 2-2. Ramirez off first base. Napoli goes after one and pops it up in the infield. Machado. And he's got it. 2 down. So 2 away with Ramirez still at first. Join Orioles Reach in support of Shannon's Fund, helping families, patients at the University of Maryland Medical Center, where you can attend the special fundraiser before the Friday, June 26 Orioles game against the Indians. For $50, you'll receive a game ticket, access to pregame events beginning at 5, including a player appearance, batting practice viewing from the Oriole Park roof deck, a drink, a gift voucher, and more. For tickets, Orioles.com/Shannon's Fund. Two down. Sandoval swings through it.
High fastball working very well tonight for Chris Tillman. Big pitch there to Mike Napoli at the top of the zone. Couple easy outs on Ortiz and Napoli. Trying to get Sandoval here.
Sandoval this month, 4 hits, 22 at bats. Wow, up the ladder we go.
Why not? And Matt Wieters recognizing that. Go ahead, work it up there. It looks good with extra life. That one really took off when it got to the top.
Here's the 0-2 delivery to him. So of course you stay up there and see if he'll bite again. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. Tillman, after win number 4 in the year, he was 13-6. ERA is up 2.25 this year from where he finished last year. 1-2 delivery, Sandoval to right field, got a base hit. Stopping at second base, Ramirez. Young will get it back in. So the Red Sox keep it alive here in the 6th inning. That's a couple of hits for Sandoval, 2 for 3, and that'll do it for Tillman. So Chris Tillman will come out of the ball game. He worked 5 2/3. A lot of pitches, but he'll leave the ball game with a chance to be the winning pitcher. And John Farrell's going to take the time to bring the trainer out to second base. They want to check on whether or not Ramirez with that bad knee can stay in. Tillman is out.
This ball game, Swihart goes down. High fastball, big pitch for Chris Tillman in this game. 9 fly ball outs. Now the pitch count got up again. Command wasn't quite there after he whistled through the first 3 innings. Red Sox lineup made him work. 71% fastballs. Breaking ball got filed away early. Didn't have the command of that, but the changeup came up big 13% of the time. Now Brad Brock out of the Orioles pen. It's his pitch arsenal. Power fastball 64% of the time. Hard slider 11%. And the nasty change 25% of the time. 20 games, 4.23 earned run average, 35 Ks, 11 walks in his 27 2/3 innings of work. Opponents hitting just .212 overall.
Bogarts runners at first and second, and a great pick by Wieters.
He inherited runners stranded for Brock at 55%, 6 of 11. Expected to be a little bit better than that for Brad Brock. I mean, he nasty stuff, swing and miss stuff.
Bogarts a 1 for 4 off Brock. That's a home run. Represents the go-ahead run at the plate now for Boston. Bogarts is going to get a base hit into left field. And here he comes. Ramirez with that bad leg. Throw. Reimel. Not in time. Wieters points over to the dugout. Take a look at that, please, he says to his manager. So for the moment, Ramirez scores.
A jam shot. Nice throw from Nolan Reimel, but it looks like Ramirez, gets that toe on the plate. Wieters had to go to the inside of the line. Ramirez slides inside of the field. He's able to get that foot on the plate. I guess his knee was good enough.
So an RBI base hit for Xander Bogaerts, and we are back to a 1-run ball game. But Showalter still waiting and now says nope, not challenging. Bogaerts picks up his 22nd RBI, and Boy, I'm impressed by Ramirez. Manager and trainer went out and talked to him before that bat. He said they must have said, I want to stay in. I can stay in. And he ends up scoring. Very kind of play they were worried about. First and second, 2 down. Pitch is a strike taken by Mookie Betts. So 5 runs, 10 hits for the Orioles. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Red Sox. That run charged to Tillman. And there's Ramirez, who has limped his way around tonight. After getting 2 walks, he has scored on both of them. 0-1 delivery will be outside by Brock. The Red Sox keeping it tight. The Oriole pitchers have been able to do just enough to keep him from getting that lead. Mookie Betts will have his first at bat against Brock. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and that's inside. Brad Brock worked a season high 2 innings on the 6th against Cleveland. He suffered his 2nd straight loss in that ball game, as he was touched up for a run, a walk on just 1 hit by the Indians. 2-1 delivery and a swing and a miss. Went all the way through that one, and Wieters challenging down at second base. Sandoval getting a long way off the bag.
A good pitch, big swing. Sandoval, of course, wants to extend that secondary lead, and he gets leaning. Now Wieters recognizing that, can see the whole field out in front of him. He comes out of the chute.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Swing and a miss. Brock comes on to get him. So they will pick up 1 run, 2 hits, leave 2 on base, and it is a 5-4 ball game. Off, they'll be coming into town. They're already here, so I'm supposing the Yankees out enjoying Baltimore tonight with some fine dining. What was it like coming into a city where a game was being played, you weren't playing, and the team you're going to play is on the field?
Well, some guys would hang around and watch the game, maybe get together, go someplace and check the team out, but a lot of guys just want to be by themselves, maybe a good night to relax, so get a nice dinner, because it's such a rigorous schedule.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you need to get away from
just like broadcasting, isn't it?
Oh yeah, exactly.
What a grind. How about Tillman?
Well, Tillman, you take the positive from every one of his starts. Listen, he's proven himself at this level. He knows what he has to do, and I think we're seeing glimpses now here in his last few starts of what he's capable of doing. I mean, today he had great command of his changeup. The fastball, he was able to move it around and made some good pitches with that. He didn't have his breaking ball working. I think the nights that he has all 3 pitches working is when he's going to be most effective.
Well, he could be the winner in this ball game, as his final line will be 4 runs, 5 hits, 5 2/3 innings, and leaves with a club up by 1. Knuckleballer throws the soft one right there at 65 miles an hour, and Hardy trying to hold back, just nubs it foul at the plate. JJ's got a base hit, and he has struck out. Pierce and Flaherty to follow. Stephen Wright, 30-year-old right-handed knuckleballer, on the mound in relief of Miley, who worked the 4 innings, 5 runs, 9 hits. Gets away. throw. Swihart makes a nice play to get him. So a strikeout and an assist. 2-3. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50, supporting the March of Dimes. The O's have 141 of those and a total of $7,050. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. A couple of strikeouts for Wright. It's coming on in the last inning. One away here in the sixth. Pierce, base hit, RBI, grounded out. Home runs, Manny Machado, Nolan Reimold, and Adam Jones. 3 of the RBIs. Delman Young's got an RBI single, and so does Steve Pierce. Those are the 5 for the Orioles. The Red Sox sac fly Napoli, 2 RBI double by Sandoval, and the RBI base hit by Bogarts for their 4 runs.
Stephen Wright in here now was actually part of the Red Sox 6-man rotation that they employed last month. They had such a tough schedule, 20 games in a row. They went to the 6-man rotation. They called Eduardo Rodriguez up, and Steve Wright was in the mix as well. But when Kelly came back, they dropped it back to the 5-man rotation, right into the bullpen, and he's very versatile. He can throw back-to-back days. He can throw multiple innings. I mean, on June 7th, he threw 3 1/3 innings on just 2 days rest. So they like using him. They like the fact that he can throw every other day if he needs to in multiple innings.
Off the bat, shallow center field. Betts, you'll put that away. Pierce is retired. 2 away here in the 6th inning. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. The Nolan Reimold fan forever, and the young man who was just, Dad, I was just sitting here watching the game, and then I got a ball. It's great. Think you'll go home and tell that story? Flaherty will take it for a strike. And if his mom and dad are smart, they will call the Orioles, call Masson, and say you would like a copy of the video of that little play right there. Yeah. And you can keep it forever. Because I don't have to do it, so what do I get? Ryan Flaherty. Flaherty 2 down, nobody on. He's grounded out, hit into a fielder's choice.
Well, Flaherty, nice pass right there on the high knuckleball. That is what you look for. Get him elevated. A little better pass at that. We've seen some ugly swings when it's down.
0-2 delivery on the way, and a little chopper, backhanded, up, through it. Nice play. So pretty easy inning. The Orioles are retired 1-2-3. That's the first time they've gone down in order tonight. Team with tryouts.
Yeah, he has. You know, he had a great time in Aberdeen, like you see right here. He thought that down the road, whether it's after a 10-year NBA career or it's just after a 2-year NBA career, when I put my mind to baseball, I can succeed at it, but I wasn't ready to give up one of the sports. Well, Orioles drafted him last season. He put up some real good numbers baseball-wise when he was at Notre Dame. 11-11 overall, 3.03. They had him clocked in the mid-90s with his fastball. He pitched in 6 games in Aberdeen last season, 14 1/3 with a 2.51. So he's got talent. He's got a big arm. But hey, he wants to play basketball right now, and it was one of his dreams. He got to try out with the Celtics. He's at their camp right now.
Yep. Good luck. Swihart up. Brock delivers to him. 1-run ball game. We go to the 7th. 5-10-0 for the Orioles. They've left 4. Red Sox are 4-6-0. They've left 4. Outstanding defensive plays on both sides of the field so far tonight. Brock's pitch will be foul back. Swihart's done a lot of that. A lot of foul balls in his at-bats down that left field line. He has struck out and flied out in the game. Orioles looking for the sweep in this series against the Red Sox. They have not had a 3-game sweep since September of last year. 1-1 delivered and a strike, and they have not swept the Red Sox in a 3-game set since September of 2012 here in Baltimore.
Well, it was a nice combination. You know, they started playing well on their last road trip. They come home where they've been playing their best baseball. So almost the perfect storm where this team is starting to come together. It would be great if they could finish out the rest of this ball game, come up with the sweep against the Red Sox, have some momentum going into the Yankees series.
Little chopper to second base. Flaherty circles it and gets the out. Follow the Orioles wherever you are with MLB.com at bat, #1 app for live baseball. At bat up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, statcast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. Top of the order, here's Pedroia. And a strike in the outside corner. 1 for 3 singled. Denied a second hit on a tremendous play made by Manny Machado in the 5th inning against him. And he's flied out to left. 0-1 count. Yikes.
Well, that's the pitch he's looking for. He likes it on the inner third. He gears up for that pitch. He knows teams work him away, but he waits for mistakes. Well, Brock leaves it inside, but it's 95 miles an hour, that cross-body delivery. Pedroia can't get to a pitch that he's looking for.
0-2 delivery to him. Got to that one. Drives it in the air. Deep left center field. Way back. Reimold there. And he makes the catch up against the wall.
Well, he wasn't going to let another one get by him. So he gave that one a charge. Yeah, he got on this pitch. Well, Reimold giving chase and a deep part of the field, but not enough. Camden Yards holds it.
Reimold comfortable on that one. That close to tying the ball game up. 2 down. Here is Holt. He is singled, 1 for 3 in the game. He was robbed by Reimold in the 1st inning. And the pitch taken for a strike. Couldn't have much more of a variation between the two pitchers in this game right now. Brock throwing the hard stuff. 94, 95. Right on the other side with 65-mile-an-hour knuckleballs. Pitch down and away, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And he'll probably stay in the rest of the ball game.
Yeah. There he is, 30-year-old Stephen Wright. 1-ball, 1-strike count. No breeze at all at the ballpark right now. Fastball will be taken up high.
There it is. Flag straight down.
Yep. Miguel Gonzalez, if you missed it earlier, gone on the DL. Would have started Sunday if he was healthy. Bunted. Foul right at the plate. Orioles will get Mattis back on Sunday. The Orioles right could make a start, Mike, on Sunday in that game. The Orioles have not decided. There's Gonzalez, 15-day DL. Groin. And just want to rest it. And in fact, wanted to get somebody on the DL because they needed some help in the pitching department. 2-2 delivery, and that's foul back.
Yeah, it's been a tough year. The roster hasn't been able to move around like they'd like. They're still making moves when they have to, but unfortunately there have been some injuries that require moves like that. A lot of players without options on the roster this year, so it's kind of limited the team for the past few seasons.
Takes it. Did he go? He walked away before he even got the call from the third base umpire. So a great job done right there by Brock. 1, 2, 3 innings, 7th inning stretch time in Baltimore.
scored 3 runs in the top of the 4th. Manny Machado, the bottom of the 4th, comes out and hits a solo shot with 2 outs. Miley a little upset about that, but the Orioles needed that insurance run, and it's proving to be a huge run right now. The Orioles with the 5-4 lead over the Red Sox in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Fans settle in to the 7th inning stretch. Former Orioles pitcher Eric Bedard announcing his retirement today, a left-hander. So Bedard finishing his baseball career with that announcement today. Manny Machado, a home run, a single. He is 2 for 3, 10th home run of the year. Knuckleballer's delivery will be a swinging strike as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning.
All right, some incredible movement on the knuckleball. Big swings as it's dancing through the zone. That's incredible. Just 58 miles an hour there. Lobbing it in, letting it do its work. Moving back and forth. Chaz Rowe now up in the pen for the Orioles. Wait a second. That pitch didn't even register on the gun. It was so slow. It's probably about 40 miles an hour.
Gun don't go there. 1-2 delivery. Machado will chop it to third base. Sandoval again on the side saddle move. Hard throw, and he throws it away. And it goes into the seats. So the Orioles will get the extra base. An error on Sandoval, probably all the way around. We'll see. But in any event, an error allows at least Machado to go to second base.
Sandoval fielding the chopper the right way off to the side, but when he looks up, he takes an extra step. Machado hustling. He can't quite get that shoulder completely turned, and it goes sailing up the line. Machado now on second base after the error.
Big chance to add another run here. Here's Nolan Reinbold, the runner on at second base. And the pitch will be taken up high. What a night Reinbold's had. He's hit a home run, first of the year, and he's had 7 putouts tonight. The most by an Orioles outfielder since Adam Jones did it. April 26, also against Boston, when he had 7. And he's legged it out there. He's gone straight back. He's gone right, left.
Yes.
Foul territory.
He has been busy.
Reimold, a 1-ball-1-strike count. And the pitch will be taken up high. Keep in mind, even though it's a bit early, you've got the trade deadline for Major League Baseball where you got to make a trade without putting somebody through waivers at the end of July. Now the Orioles going to be looking for another outfielder. Or will Reimold secure the spot before they get there? And if he doesn't, would he be involved in a deal? All questions the Orioles are waiting to take a look at here, depending on what happens between now and then.
And we know every option is being talked about right now.
Yep.
I mean, and it's not because they don't believe in the players they have in the organization right now, but they really need to free up the roster. Obviously, look for something that might help them get over the top. A handful of players with options right now. Chen, you're not going to send him out. Flaherty playing great, super utility. Gonzalez on the DL. Joseph backup catcher. Just recently the first string catcher, but Weeder's back. Machado's not going anywhere. McFarland's already made some moves up and down, and Mike Wright as well. So looks like it's going to be pitching. There's more arms that have those options to go up and down, but you think about how many players are still on the disabled list that eventually have to get moved as well. I mean, Scopes working his way back. Wesley Wright, Gosman's close. Garcia still on the shelf.
3-ball-2-strike count. Runner off second, and it'll be up high. So the Orioles here in the 7th inning get the first 2 on. Well, we were talking about Jonathan Scope, Buck Showalter before the ball game. Again, reiterating how serious that injury is to his knee, and talked about it this way.
This was a serious injury. We got to get it right, and you know, there's going to be some things that aren't ever going to be the same. But if you do enough work and enough diligence around that, you got guys playing in the NFL with the same injury, wide receivers. It's just you have to be diligent. We got the right people around him, and obviously John. I mean, this is your career. If you stay on top of this, it won't necessarily be a problem, because the next step is a surgery
that one hit deep to left field. Going back, warning track. It's caught. Runners will tag. Throw comes to second. Runner will move up to third. So Machado will get the base on the hard hit ball by Adam Jones. Ramirez got it into second to hold the runner at first. First out. Orioles, though, have runners at first and third now with one away.
I like that read by the Orioles base runners. Manny Machado, the quick tag, line drive out to Ramirez. He's able to advance, and a nice job by Ramirez to keep the double play in order. Reimold double tagging with Machado, but he has to head back to first base.
Finishing up on Jonathan Scope, it's a posterior cruciate ligament that's damaged. He's going to be here at Camden Yards on Saturday. Not ready to play, though, but they're going to bring him back here to do what he can, as Buck Showalter put it. Pitch is taken for a strike. Big at bat right here. Orioles up by 1.
And Matt Weeder's been swinging the bat well since coming up. Let's come up with another big hit.
Get that run in from third. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way, and Weeders will foul that one back. Matt, of course, switch hitting catcher. You got one on each side in this game. From the right side, Matt Weeders coming in. It had only 3 at bats. Was 1 for 3, 5 for 13. From the left side, he's 0 for 3 tonight. You see, he had gone up against Miley, the left-hander. 2-strike count. Knuckleballer. Right delivers. That's going to go to right. That'll get at least 1 in. It'll be hauled in. Tagging up at third, Machado. Holt's throw will come into second, and Weeders gets it done. It's a 6-4 Orioles lead.
So Matt Weeders deciding to go right-handed off the righty. He feels more comfortable. The knuckleballer able to see it, control his swing a little bit better, and sure enough, picks up the sacrifice fly and a huge insurance run.
And that will be it. John Farrell coming out. Inichi Tozawa, their setup man, will be coming on to pitch, where the Orioles have run in and a 2-run lead here in the 7th. receive for the achiever in you. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. So Matt Wieters picking up the RBI. Matt's now got 4 in 5 games and chases the reliever right.
Yeah, now back to the bullpen again. Yunichi Tazawa in the ball game. Fastball 60% of the time. It's a good one too, 92 to 96. So he can bring the noise there. Breaking ball 19%. Has a curve and slider, but his changeup, nasty split finger. Primarily fastball split finger pitcher. 140 earned run average in 28 games. 26 punch outs, just 5 walks. So real good command. Opponent's hitting 187 overall. Righties a tough time, just 130. Lefties up to 270 though. Foul ball percentage 41. He is a fly ball pitcher almost 60% of the time.
Delman Young has a 1 for 3 off Yunichi Tazawa. Runner at first base, Reimold. There are 2 down. And after the first one, a towering fly ball to center straight away. Mookie Betts is there, and he will make the catch, and that will retire the side. The Orioles had 1. It will be an unearned run on an error and a sac fly and a walk. A ball to Jimenez on the mound against Michael Pineda. Our coverage on Masson, 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Southwest, followed by game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on Masson. Orioles just keep getting the run back when they give one up. 6-4, up by 2.
And done a nice job. Orioles offense starting to pick it up a little bit. Chaz Rowe now in the Orioles pen. Here's a look at his pitch arsenal. Fastball 63% of the time. Breaking ball, the sweeping slider 37%. .75 earned run average. Chaz Rowe has been on a roll. Hasn't surrendered a run in 6 outings. That's over 9 innings of work. 14 punch outs, 4 walks for Rowe on the year. Bucks trust in him starting to grow. On an average 146 overall. Look at that ground ball percentage, 68% for Rowe, getting that fastball down in the zone. Good late movement.
Here's Ramirez, 2 walks, 2 runs scored in the game. Pitch outside to him. Reimold's going to move to right field from left, and David Lowe will come on to play in left field. That's been the norm now with Reimold back here for a couple of games. Late inning defensive change. Delman Young out. 1-0 delivery, taken for his strike. 0 for 1 officially, but certainly has been a problem for the Orioles in the ball game. It's been the top of the order getting on, bottom of the order driving him in. Sandoval, a couple of RBIs. Bogart's an RBI. Pedroia, Holt, and twice Ramirez has crossed the plate. 1-1. That'll be foul back.
The last at bat kept looking into the dugout, thinking about coming out. John Farrell, I think, talked him into staying in just for this situation. Need to get another at bat out of him. Already 2 walks. Very dangerous hitter. Could get another run on the board with 1 swing of the bat.
Red Sox are going to stay within the division too. The Orioles take on the Yankees. The Red Sox go home to take on Toronto for a 3-game set. 1-2 delivery on the way by Rowe. That's going to miss outside.
That's a good pitch, though. No good command of both of his pitches. Just painting a slider on the outside corner, and he throws it hard enough. Looks like a fastball coming in, then just works itself just off the plate. Ramirez showing the great veteran eye.
2-2 to him. He'll go after it down the line, right field. Reimold over into that corner, follows it in. Nice play, and he got it in foul territory. That wound its way around the wall. Orioles baseball on Masson, brought to you by University of Maryland University College. And take a look at our This State in History. Billy Martin had to use Rick Rhoden, a pitcher. He had run out of batters from the side of the plate he wanted in the ball game. So Rhoden became the first pitcher to be a positional player as far as the lineup was concerned. And who else but Billy Martin would have done that back in 1988? 1981 was the last game before a 50-day strike took place. Pitch to Ortiz is taken down low, and it would be the Orioles game. It was played against Seattle on the West Coast, the final one, and then for 50 days baseball was shut down. Over 700 games in 1981 lost in that shutdown. David Ortiz, 1-0 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss.
Good fastball there from Rowe. You see the Orioles moving into the shift, getting Ryan Flaherty out as the rover infielder, shallow right field. J.J. Hardy moving over to the second base side, and Manny Machado responsible for the whole left side of the infield.
1 ball, 1 strikeout. 0 for 3. Ortiz in the air, not anymore. Way back, and goodbye home run. David Ortiz with the long ball. His 45th career home run against the Orioles, and we're back to the 1-run game again. This is what this ball game has been, and it's 6-5.
And David Ortiz, frustrating series. Didn't get a start, been struggling against the left-handers, but he gets a slider in the middle of the plate, and he knows what to do with it. He's been cheating for a fastball. But the slider, bat speed, hammers that one.
7 home runs, 22 RBIs for David Ortiz. Their 7th hit of the ball game and their first home run in the series. Here's Napoli, and he will take the pitch down low for a ball. David Ortiz delivers the long ball, and the Orioles find themselves back to that 1-run ball game again. Napoli an RBI and a sac fly earlier, and he will fight that one off. He was going for the long ball on that one.
Get aggressive on a Chazro fastball, and there's so much late movement. If he starts it inside, it's going to bore itself in off the plate, and that's exactly what that one did there.
1-1. Pop back and foul. Ortiz here at Camden Yards has now played in 109 games here in this ballpark. By far more than anybody else on the Red Sox. That's his 24th home run in this ballpark. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Napoli. Brock worked an inning and a third. No runs, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. Foul back. Tillman 4 runs, 5 hits, 5 2/3. Still the pitcher with a chance to win the ball game. Miley started for the Red Sox, 5 runs, 9 hits over 4. He's their pitcher of record. Wright went 2 2/3, 1 unearned run on a hit, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Napoli. And he fouls another one back.
And that fastball at the top of the zone. He swung through a couple of them up there, but battling tough right now.
Chazro, the first home run that he has surrendered in the 12+ innings that he's worked this year. 1-2 delivery on the way, and a big swing and a strikeout.
Good one there, not even messing around with the slider, all fastballs. Pushes him off 94 on the inner third. The big swing there, not cutting down at all.
Sandoval, double, single, 2 for 3, 2 RBIs. So he's now had 3 hits in the series, 3 for 10. Pablo Sandoval now picked up 7 RBIs against the Orioles this year in the 10 games they've played. 1-0 count. He'd never played at Camden Yards prior to joining the Red Sox. Chaz Rowe, 1-0 pitch to him. Sandoval trying to tie it up.
Sandoval, a couple good swings in this ball game. Of course, the big double in the left center field gap, but able to pick up a single as well. And there have been a couple of these veteran bats that have been quiet. I think everybody in the East hoping to keep them down.
Swing and foul tipped into the mitt. So Rowe gets ahead of him, a ball and 2 strikes. Ramirez flied out to Reimold, had moved over to right field. So what? That's 8 putouts that Nolan Reimold's had in the ball game. 7 in left and 1 in right. High for the year for an Oriole outfielder. 1-2 delivery on the way. Sandoval in the air. Towering fly ball to center. Adam Jones right there. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors. Home run by Ortiz. And it's a 6-5 Orioles lead. From Milwaukee in a Major League debut, a run on 3 hits, 7 innings, walk, 5 strikeouts. They really like him with the Brew Crew. Remember the name. Chris Heston, who got that no-hitter. How about it's the 4th no-hitter in 4 years for the Giants and their 5th in 7. Since Dave Righetti's been out there, who refuses to take any credit for it, his starters have done a tremendous job. Rags has done great work. And the Royals, they've allowed 1 hit to the Twins. Last 22 for the Royals, they've held opponents to 1 hit, and all of those games have been on the road. 6 games over the last 22, holding opponents to just 1 hit on the road.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. And the Royals making a run. 0-1 count on Chris Davis. The Orioles again will look to answer, as they have done all night long. They had the early lead in this 4-0 going into the 4th inning, and then the Red Sox got 3. The Orioles got a run in the bottom of the 4th inning. Red Sox got 1 in the 6th. The Orioles got it back in the 7th. Red Sox 1 in the 8th. Shift is on against Davis, which we've not seen in the ball game prior to this at bat. Base hit, run scored, robbed of a hit by Pedroia last time up. 1-1 delivery right to him. Pedroia off the outfield grass, gets it over. Well, the shift works that time.
Yeah, it did. Probably would have made the play even not in the shift. Made that beautiful diving play, and they were playing straight up on Davis's last at bat, but we're showing he's going to pull a little more, so why not incorporate the shift again?
Kenichi Tozawa on the mound here. A couple of batters retired. Came off to finish off the 7th inning. J.J. Hardy. Hardy 2 strikeouts and a base hit. Zawa's delivery, ground ball short. Bogaerts dives, gets up, throws, and gets him. A spectacular play by Xander Bogaerts.
Well, we have seen some brilliant defense in this series. Youngster Xander Bogaerts making another beautiful play up the middle. Great diving effort to rob his counterpart, J.J. Hardy. Look at that extension, then up to the feet. And the nice accurate throw across the diamond. A beautiful play right there. Shows his athletic ability. He's been all over the field.
22 years old. John Farrell, talking about him today, said he already at that tender age has become an anchor up the middle for our ball club.
That should make him feel good.
Here is Steve Pearce. Pearce, a base hit, RBI. He's 1 for 3 in the ball game. Zawa's delivery is in there, off-speed breaking ball.
Zach Britton up now, Orioles bullpen.
Save situation, of course. Darren O'Day get the save, his second of the year last night, a 3-run game. Another chopper, Sandoval short hop, running throw, and got it. So 4 up, 4 down against Shinichi Tozawa. We go to the 9th inning. Orioles need 3 outs. Bottom third of the order due up. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick on this beautiful summer night. The Warehouse here at Camden Yards, and the Orioles looking to pick up another 1-run win a couple nights ago.
Yeah, Zach Britton, the closer, another 5-out save, his second this season, shutting down the Red Sox. He has been on top of his game. The nasty fastball moving all over the place. And there you see his pitch arsenal 89% of the time, 95, 96 miles an hour with the late movement. Of course, 11% on the breaking ball, 1.17 earned run average. He has been very impressive this year.
So Britton going after the save. Bogaerts will lead it off. RBI base hit for Xander Bogaerts. 1 for 3. And Britton will be down low to him for a ball. Bogaerts a 1 for 5 off the Oriole closer in his career. The Orioles after the sweep 9-9 in 1-run games. Red Sox 9-8. The Orioles winning the first 2, 5-2 ball game last night. Right back to him, lines it up, gets the out.
A very smooth, easy play for Zach Britton. Defensively, he has been on top of his game. It was a problem a couple years ago. You get him worked up, throw balls away, just rush himself. See the nice poise and patience. He settles his feet underneath him and throws a strike first to get that first out. And Chris Tillman, today's starter, out of the ball game. Wing in Chen.
Here's Mookie Betts. A double, 1 for 3. That's in there for a strike. That's 0 for 1 off Zach Britton. Zach got his 16th save in the first game of this series. Now a chance to get another one. 0-1. Betts will go to short. Hardy. 2 down.
I'd like to see that. Orioles defense once again tested today and answering the call, playing very soundly. First one, Zach Britton's on the hill. Expect a lot of ground balls. Better be ready.
Britton 2 out of 3 in saves against the Red Sox this season. In his career, 5 out of 6. Swihart, the rookie, 2 down, 9th inning. Fans up. Goes after it. Coming. Machado gloves it. Throw. And got him. Hesitation and hang on. John Farrell's coming out. John Farrell is challenging. So this game may or may not be over. A very close play at first base. Chris Guccione with a call. He will go over. Guccione will, along with Jeff Nelson, the crew chief. And they'll go to New York to see whether or not the Orioles recorded the out on Swihart at first base.
Well, Swihart getting down the line a little quicker, I think, than Manny expected. A little slow roller. Manny Machado usually a little more aggressive there. Kind of takes his time.
He's safe.
Oh, and he did beat it out.
Yeah. And I think the Orioles know it. They haven't left the field at all. They didn't even start to move off the field. So we'll see. We never know in these anymore, though.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen calls overturned. Both of us thinking, no, there's no way they're going to overturn that one. Sure enough, so giving a good look here.
And that looks safe. Call was out. They've got the ruling. We're going to play some more. So Swihart will get an infield single with 2 down here in the 9th inning.
Well, hitters kind of sense the opportunity for a base hit. And he turned it on. Bringing more speed out there. He'll get pinch run for Diaza.
So Diaza will run for Swihart, representing the potential tying run. Infield single, 2 down. And Britton's got to work to Pedroia. Pedroia has had a base hit, a run scored. He is 1 for 4 in the ball game, 7 for 11 against Zach Britton. Ball game goes on. Big review. Pedroia trying to give him a lead. He got one of those pitches inside, but boy, that's a tough single.
Healthy cut right there. He's letting it fly, selling out on the fastball. Better put it in the right spot, and Britton did. Bottom of the zone. Not a lot he can do with that.
0-1 the count. Orioles trying to win their 4th in a row. 0-1 pitch on the way. Pedroia, another big cut. 2 strikes.
Yeah, he is trying to get behind the baseball. He wants to give the Red Sox the lead. Maybe a little too big on Britton's fastball, that late movement.
Diaz at first. John Farrell said before the game, how does a pitcher throw that kind of sink with that kind of velocity? Same question everyone's asking.
Amazing.
Here's the 0-2. Pedroia will fight it off and keep his at-bat alive.
And the fact that there's deception with the short arm delivery. It gets on hitters. Man, they can't even see it coming. You watch hitters that take pitches. They just want to get a look at Zach Britton, and they step out of the box and I better get this geared up a little bit more.
Tillman could be the winner. The Orioles hang on to this lead. 2 starters, still the pitcher of record. Tillman and Miley. 0-2 delivery. Here you see the numbers.
9-9 record this season in the 1-run games, and of course they showed the numbers with the Orioles and Red Sox matchups, and over the last 2 years they've had a lot of 1-run games, 8 or 9 1-run games in their matchups, so always close contests.
22,840 on their feet. 22840. 0-2 count. Diaz off first. Britton's delivery. Ground ball. Foul. Always a tough out. One of the few times in a season where Pedroia at the moment is not among the top 10 and most difficult to strike out. He usually is every year. And even if he's not in the top 10, he's still a very tough guy to K. Just a good contact hitter. Pedroia struck out 33 times, drawing 24 walks, 240 at-bats. Britton ready, another 0-2 pitch. And he got him. Ball game over. So Zach Britton comes on, gets the big out. No runs on one hit, no errors, and one left on base. And the Orioles have swept the Red Sox for the first time since 2012. They've won 4 in a row. 6-5 the final. Tillman gets the win. Miley takes the loss. Zach Britton the save.